Kevin, it's a pleasure to meet you. And we have Kevin Carl from Accenture, and who is responsible for the travel vertical. So my question to you was specifically regarding the travel vertical, travel industry, in terms of what are the specific globalization, localization challenges the industry faces when they are creating global digital content?
So probably the largest challenge that travel companies have is scaling content. So content in the travel space is largely around an aspirational purchase. Outside of the home or maybe a car purchase, travel is a huge outlay for the typical traveler or traveling family.
Right.
And inspiring someone to take that trip takes content, both the visual content and language content. And you take a large hospitality company, for example, maybe 3,000-4,000 properties, translate that content into a few languages, and suddenly it is a rather overwhelming challenge. And then you add additional languages as they seek to reach new people in new markets. And those costs suddenly become ongoing, year on year, very costly to incur. So travel companies are looking at, how do I engage content, creation, management, translation, localization efforts without the linearly scaling costs, right? So how do I reduce costs ongoing and to put my content in market? Right. And then if you look at travel companies and syndicating that content, providing it to other third parties, OTAs and what have you, well, then they have the same challenge. If they're not getting the content translated for them already, then they need to translate content. So there's a huge cost factor in the travel industry related to content creation and localization.
This content creation and localization aspect, a lot of that is also mechanized in a way, automated. So do you see this kind of automated delivery of content or automation of content management in the travel industry? Or to what extent they are incorporating?
Yes, I would say two things. One, on the creation side, more and more companies are moving towards a hybrid translation approach on the translation side. Mm-hmm. And then the data movement, both internally to the organization as well as to others in the travel ecosystem, that is becoming more and more automated. Right? Hands-off traffic cops, if you will, of that data as it moves between companies. And that's a trend I think we're going to continue to see, effort around that.
In terms of the hybrid approach to content creation you mentioned, can you explicate a little bit on that?
Sure. Translating content, the traditional approach in terms of manual content translation is high quality, but also can be costly. Right. And with speed to market concerns, the cost factors I just spoke of, that can be very challenging. And so what some companies are looking to do is to do a machine translation first pass with a human post-edit. Okay. To bring costs down. Okay. And still get a quality outcome. And I think that's likely to be a trend that we continue to see as the tooling and the technology becomes better.
Improves. Right.
Yeah.
And one last question. Especially the travel industry being so close to the consumer in terms of self-expression because they're using it for that purposes and engagement. Do you see travel companies moving beyond translation aspects to more thorough localization of content to the specific user group or locale?
I would say it's an ongoing topic of conversation, and I would say there is a trend towards localization. Even large platform providers, those that have a large booking platform of their own, whether it's in hotels or airlines, or car rental for that matter, they're looking to translate content. They're looking to provide content to third parties. And breaking that down to the individual market and consumer is certainly a focus. What I think that they're going to be challenged with is how to do that cost effectively. Do they create new templates and new tailored solutions for those markets. I think they will for those that make financial sense. And then there's probably a second tier where there's some entry of threshold, if you will, of when they would take that on as an individual effort.
Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Tish.